What'd you say? Michter's tenure?
No, well, so they got like all the Michter stuff. So like Bomb Burgers and Sheks is coming out tomorrow. And they got Michter's 10-year rye, which I already have one. And those are pretty limited. And then it's like
Get that Bomb Burgers PFG.
There's a couple different Fortizella tequilas that are coming out.
Fortaleza,
whatever.
Podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
and I'm Gold Eagle Jake.
Tonight we're talking about prices and how they've changed, and looking at some of the secondary prices in particular and how they're changing. We noted this week in our group chat that the latest Remus special, what is it? Remus Reserve?
Remus Repeal.
Mm-hmm. Remus Repeal, thank you. Has dropped, what, like $20 in price? $40 in price.
It was last year. It was like $119.99. Now it's $79.99.
Yeah, which is crazy in 1 year. But I mean, as Dan never fails to point out, MGP has overproduced quite a bit, so it kind of tracks. Then there's been a larger trend, I think, in like normal on the shelf SKUs starting to trend downward too, right, Jake?
Yeah, I think the only major increase that we've kind of touched on, and it's not even a huge increase, but just Buffalo Trace products across the board took a price increase this year, somewhere between 10 and 15% on all their products except for Weller and standard Buffalo Trace. Who knows what's going to happen with BTAC and Pappy. There's been rumors that they're taking a bigger price increase this year, but we will have to wait and see a couple more months on that. But a lot of standard stuff, a lot of shelf stuff, especially things like Elijah Craig Toasted that used to be really hard to find, are much more available, which we have talked about, but we haven't really touched on the fact that they are dropping in price. And a lot of smaller brands, too, are starting to drop in price a little bit. So we're going to kind of touch on that.
Yeah, and I mean, we started with the Remus Repeal, so I've said many times the 5 is one of my favorites. I didn't like the 6 that much. I haven't tried 7 or 8, but when I saw the price on Gold Eagle, I ordered one. It's going to be there until I come back in Christmas and get it. But like the first thing when I saw your price on Gold Eagle go up, Jake, I'm like, did they just significantly take the age of it down? And it's not. It's still a blend of anywhere from 10 to 18-year-old bourbon in there. And we've kind of always said, like, what you're seeing a lot of is $10 per year of age is kind of what we've been seeing with a lot of places. They've actually dropped down below that. Now, part of that's probably because you're going to have things like MGP's got a ton of whiskey, and then all these brands that were buying MGP and they started producing to refill those brand stocks, they're not buying it anymore because it's not moving nearly as quick. So this might be one of their preemptive strikes to try and get back in line with the market and make sure this sells through. But I'll tell you the first thing is when I saw the post from Gold Eagle, I texted Gold Eagle Jake to see if he had tried it yet, to see if it just tastes like shit. And then I looked up and saw it was still, 44% of it's 10 year and everything else is older than that in it. I looked at the age statement of it, and then I decided to pull the trigger on an order as well as a few other things. But
yeah, I think we noted last year that batch 8, it was either 7 or 8. Like, didn't you have on the shelf for like a year?
Yeah, it wasn't that long, but I think the last 2 years, and especially last year, that was the first time that it sat on the shelf. In years prior, it would disappear immediately. And I know that's the case with a lot of things these days, but Yeah, I mean, they probably realized that it was sitting a little bit. And to Dan's point, they definitely have more stock than what they know what to do with, being that they're one of the largest distilleries in the country. And I think this is a great move by them to kind of come back into the market and become more of a player again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say 100% certain if it would have been the same price, I would not have bought it. If it had still been around the 120, 130 mark, I would not have bought it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like this kind of fits with the strategy that they've been trying to take. They've been trying to acquire brands, rather than continually push their internal brands. I think at least two of their internal brands have gone away, if I'm remembering right. Is it what's the?
Well, I think they're going.
I want to say
Rossville
Union
Rye.
Rossville is the one that's going to go
Rossville's
away,
their
right?
rye. Well, I don't know. I think they're doing like a rebrand. I think they're
Okay.
like changing the bottle, changing the label, kind of revamping things. I think this merger buyout with Luxco and Penelope is kind of good for all parties involved. I think
Yeah.
there's more back and forth on helping each other now that they're all under one roof. And knowing what to do with all these different barrels that they have aging and what brand to put them in. And MGP has always been one of the best at making whiskey. They just were really bad at selling it and marketing and branding, because they've been a powerhouse distiller, not a powerhouse brand per se. So I think this three-way partnership that's kind of going on here is just nothing but great for all three parties involved. I think we're going to start to see a lot more. We're going to start to see a lot more higher age statements. We're going to see prices getting corrected. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing bad about this situation here for them and for whiskey drinkers like ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, with the stocks that they have, we're probably going to start seeing sub $10 per year prices on age stated bottles in the next few years, I would think.
We would hope
And
so.
Dan was talking before we started the episode that this Remus is what do they have, 7 or 8 year as the
Which
primary
one?
base?
10.
This is 10. It's a
Oh,
minimum
it's a
10.
10 at $70,
$80.
which
80.
is or 80, sorry, but still, that's $20 under a $10 per year.
And,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
like
we
Dan's,
see that with Buffalo Trace and Heaven Hill and stuff with some of their normal brands.
Right,
but those are your other massive distilleries
Yeah.
that have their own brands. MGP wasn't making as much money because they were selling off barrels. They weren't selling bottles, and they were doing really poorly at marketing and selling their own bottles. So they weren't really cashing in on their whiskey that way. They were just making the quick buck by selling barrels to other distilleries. So distilleries like Buffalo Trace and Heaven Hill could afford to do it, and they were doing
Yeah.
it very well. But now I think that we have this Penelope stepping in. I mean, the owners of Penelope, the two guys that started Penelope, are very close and hands on with MGP now, and it truly is like a three-way partnership that's going on between them and Luxco, and they're all just trying to win for everyone involved, not just each individual brand.
Got a question, just a random question. Not super off topic. So I've liked the Remus repeal stuff, the younger years. Has anyone ever just drank straight George Remus, their bottom shelf and tried that?
I've never tried it.
Like their $25, $30 whiskey or whatever it is, or is it even cheaper than that?
I don't know if I've had one that cheap, but what's funny is we have the George Remus, the highest rye bourbon, and it's a 6-year minimum, and it's $49.99 on the shelf. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while, and the Grays Lake Bourbon and Beer Fest was last weekend, and I had a few people two people come up to me and show me a picture of that bottle and say that was the best thing they tasted at the fest. They said the bottle ran out right away, and there was like people at the table trying to get more, and there wasn't more. And then I didn't even realize at the time that we had it on the shelf. I went looked at our shelf the next day and was like, oh my God, that bottle has been sitting on our shelf for 6 months and nobody's really touched it. So the whiskey, I think, has always been good. Again, they just are awful at marketing and selling it. Like, nobody knows about it. And when you look at it, you just think, oh, it's another MGP brand. There's a lot of MGP brands out there. I've heard of Beautiful and the Damned. I've heard of Penelope. I've heard of, Resilient has some good older MGP releases. So I think a lot of people will go to the brands that they hear about and know and that people are talking about more. Nobody's really talking about Remus except for the repeal batches that come out annually.
Yeah. So George Remus straight bourbon whiskey, it's $39. And it's a high rye, which is my style of bourbon, 21% rye.
Yeah, the one we have is 39% rye, and it's called the highest rye.
Yeah, I see one here for that 6-year-old highest rye straight bourbon whiskey. Huh. Like, we never talk about, I mean, I think I'll have to do a taste test on that because we never talk about that. Like, we always talk about the Buffaloes and the Elijah Craigs and the Knob Creeks and shit like that. We never talk about Remus.
It's just marketing.
Yeah, MGP consistently puts out really good stuff. It's just got somebody else's label on it most of the time.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the distillery was the old Seagram's distillery. Like, they were built to just mass produce. Mm-hmm. And they've been doing it for such a long time that they figured out how to do it. They just had never put any effort into bottling and blending and marketing.
Yeah. Anyway, that was off topic. Sorry, I just thought of that.
The one thing about them too, though, is that they have a lot of different mash bills too.
They do. I mean, they have their predominant 21 rye, 36 rye.
Yeah, I don't say that as like a negative, but like...
No, yeah, the 39 rye you don't see often. The 95.5, of course, is their signature rye whiskey. But they do a lot of different mash bills, specifically contract distillations for hundreds and hundreds of other distilleries.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like, sorry, one more. They were way beyond technology 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. They were maybe not 5 years ago, but 7-8 years ago, before places like Green River and Bardstown Bourbon Company and Wilderness Trail and Castle and Key opened up with newer technology to do much more contract distillations and many more mash bills. So that they're just kind of set up the old school way. They've been doing it for a long time. And why fix what's broken? Because it's working. You just got to do the back end of the work now and go out and sell the whiskey.
Yeah, I think we did an episode on the history of MGP in like season 1. So go dig through the archive and find that if you want to know more about MGP.
Or don't, because it was probably a really bad episode. It was probably you just reading shit. Because before we made you stop doing research.
Yeah.
We just... But back to pricing, though. So... I know we talked about right away is like when Heaven Hill Bib, which you used to never be able to get, came out, and then all of a sudden it came out and it was on sale at all times. What are some other stuff that you're seeing, Jake? That some of that stuff is either is coming to you at a lower price, or you guys are actually putting it on sale to move through things. Like, what are you starting to see? Stuff that in the past you wouldn't have done.
I wouldn't say we're putting on sale just to move it, but there's a lot of everyday stuff, and I don't mean to keep using Heaven Hill as an example, but like Elijah Craig Toasted is one thing, and this goes the same thing with the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond 7-year. When it first came out, they didn't have any deals on it. It was just the price was the price. It was kind of hard to get. So like we hate rounding down on our margin when something's hard to get because it's going to sell out no matter what. So we usually just round up to the nearest $59.99 or whatever. But now they're starting to put really aggressive deals, like buy 10 cases of it, get 3 cases of this triple sec for free. So we kind of factor that into our margins and lower the price on the bottle that's going to sell in order to move through some of that and then buy the deal again. But what's interesting is so today, for example, J. Henry, the orange wine cask finish came in about $10 cheaper a bottle. Last year that sold out pretty quick at $94.99. Today we were able to retail it for $84.99. And we used to, we used to like be very on top. We're always on top of checking prices on the invoices because you really never know what the exact price is going to be until it's on an invoice and in the store. They could screw up. There's so many different deals, so many different delivery fees that you just got to be on top of checking the invoices when they come into the store. So we're always on top of checking invoices, and it used to be we have to really make sure we're checking these because out of nowhere something could jump $5 or $10 a bottle and we'd have to raise the price before we put it on the shelf. And now I'm just finding more and more than raising it, we're having to lower the price in order to one, be competitive, but two, we have a pretty small margin that we like to stick to, and that's the margin that we have been able to keep our lights on with and take care of our employees with. So we're not trying to be greedy, but we're just trying to keep things moving forward and stay competitive with the market.
Well, I mean, that have a rainy day fund, and then you like until you run a business, you don't realize everything that goes on at the business that you don't get paid for. And sometimes it's nice to be like, a little extra for me at the end of the day. But,
yeah, I mean, certainly there's some items we can, but most of the time you got to stay competitive because everyone has their prices online now. You don't want someone to be like, oh, why are you $10, $20 higher on this? Because then they think you're $10, $20 higher on everything in the store.
Why are you selling mellow corn for $50?
Yeah.
Because it has the black top, or what was the COVID thing? The black top.
Black,
oh yeah.
Are there more and more things too that are offering the deals on stuff that were harder to get that come with incentives that aren't just a lower price, but it's either other items or other SKUs that you get a discount on, or like you said, they're like some of the mixers and things like that. Is that becoming more commonplace?
Well, yeah, it's quick. I do want to point out that you said that you're seeing more and more deals where if you buy X number of cases of this, you get some other thing for free.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was kind of the opposite, where like you have to go buy this like dog shit thing that nobody wants, then you get the chance to even purchase.
That's only for Buffalo Trace.
Yeah,
that's only for Buffalo Trace.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a pretty common thing that happens. And again, like if you're not in the industry working behind the scenes, you don't understand. Like it's technically not free. It's just okay. Now we're able to like really be competitive on this pricing on this bottle and sell this other item for the right price. It's not really free. It's like in lieu of a discount, we're going to give you 3 cases of this free, and it'll at the end of the day average out to be a little bit cheaper. But it's not like we're just getting items for free and throwing them on the shelf.
You're making higher margin on something else and similar or slightly lower margin on something else.
And that's a good point because most people probably don't realize Heaven Hill has over 1,000 different brands and labels. I mean, they're the largest distillery, and most of the products and brands that they own are not bourbon. They own a lot of tequila brands. They own a lot of mixers. They own a lot of like triple sec and bar back stuff. So of course they're not going to give you somebody else's product free, but they want their triple sec on your shelf. So it's a lot of stuff that like we normally wouldn't sell or there's not really a demand for. But okay, we're getting this, 3 cases of this triple sec for free, so we'll put this there instead of this other triple sec that we normally would sell.
Yeah, we talked about it of how this stuff is going to become more regular and prices are going to drop. It'll be interesting to see who some of these earliest adapters are. So, Buffalo Trace, a lot of people over the last few years have had, like Jack Daniels, they all had slight price increases, which isn't like that. That's a normal thing though of business. Like you still can't get a McDouble or a McChicken for $1 off the $1 menu at McDonald's like you used to get.
The dollar menu doesn't exist anymore.
No, because nothing costs. You can't get anything for $1. But that's just normal things. Is you're always going to see prices increase because costs always go up. They never go down. But it'll be interesting to see which of these companies are like, hey, maybe we should start dropping this a buck or two, or trying to push our other stuff in, and you can get all this Blanton's now, but you got to buy a whole bunch of their root beer.
Well, I caveat your statement with costs do drop when there's overproduction.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
that
and
is
I do think
the thing that you constantly hammer.
Buffalo.
We're in the middle of a massive
overabundance.
I
know you don't like the other words. So we'll go overabundance.
Overabundance, Dan. We can get behind you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, this is, if we were looking at the way the market has behaved in the past 10 years, this seems like a pretty normal correction.
Yeah, I was going to say this is absolutely a correction. Everyone went ham during COVID and buy. Every big distillery ran out of not only liquid, but they ran out of glass. They couldn't get glass. They couldn't get corks. They couldn't get labels. They couldn't get things approved by the TTB. So what's going to happen when you finally get that item, you're going to raise the price because you can, and people will pay for it because they haven't been able to get it. But now those prices need to come back down to reality. And if they don't, you're going to get left behind. And I'm not going to call out any smaller brands, but there's a few small brands that like reach out to me and say, hey, I see so-and-so is selling a 12-year for 190 or $200, or I see so-and-so selling a 6-year for $110 a bottle. Like, you think I should raise my prices? And my answer is absolutely not. Like, now is your chance to really be competitive and build your brand, make a name for yourself in this industry. Because nobody's in a couple years, if you're not below or at that $10 a year mark, I think you're going to get left behind.
Well, like, we talked about when Buffalo Trace either overtly announced or just kind of let it be known that their prices were going up. Whichever way that actually happened, I don't remember. But my first reaction was, are they out of their fucking minds? Because like all we've been talking about now is how in the next few years you'll be able to find every single BT SKU on the shelf. But I think they probably saw their last opportunity to get that little price increase in before they're going to have to freeze it for another like 10 years. So
I actually think that was
probably the exception to this rule of
that was a great move by them. Like, it's about time you raised your prices. Like, you can't keep your stuff in stock. You're priced way below the average. Why would you not raise? Like, all they've been saying for years is we want our products on the shelf. Yeah. Why raise your price? If you can't give us more product,
there's other things
raise
they
your
could
price
do too, like stop releasing 10 new SKUs a year of random bullshit.
Yeah, but
everyone does that though. So
they've increased production.
Everybody else is keeping shit on the shelf, so
they've
doing something different.
BT used to bring us like fake bottles to put on the shelf, like little flat Stanley Blantons to put on the shelf that would say like out of stock now, more coming soon.
Just
And
as like
it
a
was
space
like
saver.
it was like an insult. We would be like, there's like Blanton's is never going to be on the shelf here. Why would we put these up? Like the second it hits the shelf, it's gone. So it's about time that they raise their price to get a little more aligned with the market. I mean, I'm all for if you can get your stuff out there at a lower price, sure, but they can't get their stuff out there. It doesn't sit on the shelf anywhere.
That's gonna change one way or
It
another.
will. It will change.
But I think
And we're not talking we're not talking a 50% increase. We're not talking a 100% increase.
No,
it was a 10% increase.
Yeah.
Maybe 15. Like they're just correcting themselves with the market.
But I think they're
something that hasn't increased by 10% over the last 4 years.
but I think they're now positioned to go another like 10 years without another price increase.
Yeah.
So
it's always we do this
as long as they don't keep dicking around with all their SKUs.
It's one of the things that we deal with in our business all the time. It's like, well, do we do a 2 to 3% price increase every year, or do you wait 3 or 4 years and do a 10% price increase? Well, how many more customers are you going to piss off by doing a 10% price increase over a 2 to 3% annually? That ends up being the exact same thing. But usually, all of a sudden, 1 year it's this price, and the next year it's this price. Like, oh shit, that's just got way too expensive for me. So usually, better to do incremental. In our industry, at
depends
least.
on the competition too.
Yeah.
If the competition is still more expensive after that 10% increase one time every 5 years, then you can get away with that. Which that's why Buffalo Trace did what they did. It's because they haven't changed their price in God knows how long. So it's and the demand is for sure there on their stuff. But yeah. Like we said before, if you're still hoarding Weller Special Reserve, stop it. Start drinking through it.
And then on top of everything else, just starting to look at secondary markets and see what prices are doing compared to 4 years ago. So
speaking of Buffalo Trace, let's see what the second.
Well, there's other stuff. There's other stuff going on too, but. So we've talked before a long time ago about buying stuff secondary, and you got to be careful to make sure it's actually legit of what they say it is. So if you're looking secondary pricing at known to be websites that you don't have to be concerned if it's the real thing or not, one of the big ones is Wooden Cork. Jake, does Jenna Ray still listen at all or no?
No.
Okay.
This will be interesting.
So you don't have to give an exact price. You can give a ballpark range. When we first started, and we've talked about when we first started getting into whiskey and overpaying, and the lessons we learned along our way, and what we tried to preach to everybody else. Do you remember a ballpark range, give or take a couple $100, how much your Pappy Lot B was? Because I remember I had to cover for you a little bit on that.
It wasn't. I didn't buy it from Wooden Cork.
Okay.
I can't.
That's right. You bought it from one of the clubs you were with, or like
it was Flaviar, I think.
Flaviar. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 1,000, if I remember right.
Yeah,
which at that time was right before it doubled to 2K at most places. So,
and that's what
still one of my biggest regrets of all time.
No comment.
It's to the point now, just looking at Wooden Cork, and obviously a lot of stuff on here is going to be Buffalo Trace stuff because that's what people are looking for, but that's back down to below $1,000 on Wooden Cork, which is probably one of the more pricier ones, but again, at least you're getting the right thing. But what's crazy is some of their stuff isn't even out of line anymore. So for just
it's walking the line. It's walking the line.
It's walking the line of if you
it's
really
not
want it
anymore.
Yeah, if you really want it, some of these things aren't awful prices. So if you're someone that doesn't have an Eagle Rare and you can't get it, their Eagle Rare pricing right now online is $70.
I mean, that's
Which is-
ridiculous.
That's not bad.
Because
That's like
with
what?
the price increase, it's like 60 to 65 retail.
Yeah.
But
Well,
some of the other ones, even like the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, you said was 400.
yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, that bottle sells for like 120 retail, but it's also very hard to find. We get like 6 bottles a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
as
I
far
think-
as secondaries go, it's
400 for that
Not too
bottle. I would take that bottle over any of the Van Winkle bottles.
yeah.
See, I paid $250 for mine. Not secondary at a store.
That's a
my
good.
barrel.
I would say that's
I-
good.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
it's
a good
not
deal.
too bad.
But here, like, so things that people can relate to is it wasn't long ago that Blanton's was on here for $250 just for normal Blanton's single barrel bourbon whiskey.
Asinine.
It's down to 125, which still sounds bad, but Blanton's is $89 now, right?
It's still pushing it a little bit, but
Yep.
But again, if you're wanting some of these things, it's not horrible.
But so many people love Blanton's, and it's still the first thing that sells off of our table when we put out Buffalo Trace stuff.
Right.
It's always the
Yeah,
first thing
well,
to go at $90.
yeah, and like Blanton's is, I think, one of the harder ones to get in certain markets too. So like there will be, online national retailer. Like you gotta kind of split the difference a little bit there. So it's not terrible, but it's not like
like here's what Henry McKenna is now $69.99 on sale on their website,
that's
which is
about retail,
MSRP.
isn't it?
Yeah. Weller Special Reserve 1.75 liters at 140, which isn't horrible.
What
That's
MSRP
horrible.
is like 70.
Probably in that range.
I mean, dude,
That's 4 Blantons for the price. 2 Blantons.
Those
for the
are
price
hard
of
to
4.
find.
Or two Wellers.
Those
for the
are
price
hard
of
to
4.
find.
somebody gifted me a Weller 1.75 like 7 years ago. There's like this much missing, like
Yeah,
an inch or
about the
two
same
missing
as mine.
for those of you not watching, and like I cannot get through it.
That's a thick bottle. I got one too, and I'm the same way.
I-
I got mine like 3 or 4 years ago in Cleveland.
I can't drink Weller Special Reserve, and like I have no friends that want to drink it. I don't know what to do with it.
Well, if you buy
I'm about
that
to-
big bottle, that's like a showpiece.
It is, but
Like
it's
it's
not
just there to sit on your shelf and be like, "Look, I
Like-
got this big ass Weller." Like,
Yeah, but nobody wants to drink it.
yeah, but I mean that's why it's for show.
Yeah, but
That's the same thing. It's like we were
if
talking
it
before
was
here.
if it was like a 107 handle or a 12-year
Well,
handle, it
107
might be a little
would be-
better.
Yeah,
I know they don't do 107 handles, but
no, but I mean, yeah, 107 handle for 140 would be really cool.
We
Easy,
were talking about
easy
the,
buy, but
as we say,
yeah,
showpiece.
SR is yeah.
As we say, showpiece. We were just talking beforehand. I'm gonna tomorrow is the allocated release day here in Utah, so for fun, I'm gonna go see what the lines are like, and there's some decent stuff. But I was looking at the list, and there's some stuff that's harder to find. That'd be more interesting to grab, but they got a couple of the 1075 milliliter bottles of Eagle Rare. And I'm
Gotta
like,
get it.
I just want a
Gotta
big
get
ass
it.
bottle of Eagle Rare for the top of my shelf because I've seen one because Roberto has one. Remember that?
Yeah,
And it-
Roberto's.
what's crazy is how much smaller an Eagle Rare bottle looks when
Yeah,
it's
it's-
sitting right
yeah,
next
no, the
to a
big ones are
1075
cool.
bottle.
I mean, but like, and that was what, 85 bucks
89 bucks. They
I
have
mean,
one
that's
on. They have one
all
on
day.
here for double.
all day. You gotta
on
do
Wooden
that.
Cork's got
that's
one for
crazy.
double, but- yeah. So there's
What is
still,
Wooden
and
Cork? What's Wooden Cork charge?
Wooden Cork's 189 for the.
I'd still pay that. That's not too bad for something like that. Like that's a piece of furniture. That's not like
That's fair. Now there's still stuff on here that is stupid priced. So like Rock Hill Farms for $350,
Yeah,
or
like,
Weller
I don't-
CYPB for $520. There's still plenty of that, but I mean, heck, there's some Old Owl confiscated on here for $129, which is retail.
yeah.
Somewhat.
Confiscated is not even good.
Kentucky
Owl.
Owl
Yeah,
confiscated
Kentucky
for
Owl.
$129.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that some of the stuff that on these websites that used to be dumb to even look at, you can find some stuff on there, and especially like right now, they got a lot of stuff on. This isn't an ad for Wooden Cork, this is if you're wanting some of these things you've wanted, the prices on secondary are falling.
Yeah.
A lot because a lot of people probably have it and they know it's not worth spending that much on it again.
Well, they're falling
Well,
because they're not selling. So
Yeah.
think
Right.
about that before you go and pay secondary. But again, yeah, some of these prices aren't that bad if you really, really, really want something.
Well, and like it's
Like
not that hard to get a
the
Lot
people,
B anymore.
well,
It's still difficult.
it is, yeah.
When you don't spend $7,000 a year at liquor store, it's really hard to get
Well,
a lot cheaper.
Jake's like,
No,
I
but
get an
I mean-
email every year offering me one.
But like there's a bunch. I mean, like a lot of these like bigger stores are moving to like lotto systems,
But that's not easier.
and they're getting like shitloads of.
But
of
so-
Lot
That-
B,
it's,
you
it's
know,
not
like
shitloads.
so-
I mean, we're
to
talking about go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
No, sorry, go.
I say if you talk like the big store that we never talk about, like yeah, they probably had like 10 cases of Lot B, but how many tens of thousands of people applied for one of those bottles? Like
the last year I shopped at the big box store that can't be named, they were like begging me to take a Lot B and something else.
That's because you spent a lot of money there before you started spending money at Jake's. And that's
Also,
back when they used
though-
to give it. Now they've switched to lotteries. So.
That store is,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not doing that anymore. It's just
Yeah.
random lottery. Anyone can sign up. Hell, I'll probably sign up. But to back your point, Jake, like there's people that come in when we post a release every week, and if Blanton's is gone, they complain and they cry, and they say, "I've been trying to come to your releases for 6 months to get a bottle of Blanton's. That's the only thing I want." Like, if
Show
you're
up at 9
that
o'clock.
desperate, for one, yeah, I mean, get the hint that we do this like occasionally on Saturdays at 11. So if you really, really want one that bad, come every Saturday at 11 and have a pour or two at the bar, no matter what, and you'll get lucky once a month or twice a month and get your bottle of Blanton's. But for two, yeah, it's $129 on wooden cork. Like, if you really want it that bad, that extra $40 is probably worth it to you to just buy it online and not have to rush into the store every time.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
and
don't
that's
get me
the-
wrong. We want you to come into the store. That's why we do it. But if you're that desperate for a bottle of Blanton's, just buy it online now.
Yeah.
When like that's the tax for not having to hunt, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So-
yeah.
And like $40, you know, like the number of hours you'd have to put in to hunt to find a bottle of Blanton's, or you could just buy it for $40 over MSRP. Like,
Well,
that
I mean,
seems
the
not
other side
too
too is you're going to
far
spend
out of-
$35 on shipping, so it's going to be $75. But
True,
like all these,
true.
like same thing with Gold Eagle is the same with everyone that ships. It's one price to ship, so you can buy a couple bottles of Blanton's and you have a couple backups for $40 more and split the shipping cost, or you can find other stuff on there that you would like. Again, we're not advocating to buy online, but if there's stuff that you want, it's getting
Unless
more
it's
and more
from Gold
reasonable.
Eagle.
Yeah, unless it's from Gold Eagle. There's stuff that's with the way the secondary has fallen, it's not asinine to now look at online prices on a lot of things.
and some
say,
of it's questionable.
there's still stuff that's way overpriced on it.
If
Like,
you
I think
wait
Weller
another
12
year, everything's going to be cut in half again. So
like Weller 12 was like $200 on wooden cork for a $65 bottle of whiskey.
yeah,
So
it'll be
doesn't
like
even have a cork.
$100
It's-
next year.
Yeah.
Just buckle up. It's
So the secondary is coming down too, but and that's usually that's one of the leading indicators of what's happening is people are getting this, they got it, they don't want to spend that much on it again, or it's becoming a little more regular, so those onlines are falling. But that's
well, I mean, how
You know,
many
I think
bottles?
it's the
of Blanton's
first.
and
I
special
think it's the
reserves do you
latter.
hoard?
well,
It's-
Blanton's you need
people are
7.
the
You need
letters.
7 bottles.
People are finally getting the bottle. They're trying it, and then they're realizing, okay, yeah, this is not worth $200, and there's plenty of other things I bought for $50 or $60 that are better.
I mean, I know people that really, really, truly love Blanton's, and they go and they have a relationship with a store, and they get it regularly, but they drink through the whole thing one bottle at a time, and like which great, good for you. Like that's awesome, you know. But like the people that are buying like
Do they though?
20 bottles of Blanton's every weekend to like shove in their closet, it's like I don't know what apocalypse you think you're waiting for, but it's not coming.
Hey, you know what? We're a day closer to that apocalypse than we were yesterday.
It's true, but it's not going to be a whiskey apocalypse. That's for sure.
And if some of you people aren't big Blanton's fans and you're like, damn, you're a dumb fuck, first of all, yes. But second of all, I know there's two N's in Blanton's, but they're different horses. So shut up.
One has an apostrophe.
No, it's not an apostrophe, it's a colon.
Jake, do they actually love
right.
Blanton's though? Or
The
do
guy
they
I'm talking
love
about,
that?
yeah, he does.
Does he? Have you blinded him with other bourbons?
No, but he's my boss's boss, so I'm not gonna
Walk into his office
Take him
with
to-
four
take-
bottles and say, "Hey, if you
Take him
pick
to
the
the Gold
Blantons
Eagle
out of
Blind."
these, you get it for free."
Why don't you take him to the Gold Eagle Blind, Jake? That'd be nice of you.
I gave him
Did you take him to the
You-
Gold Eagle
other
Blind?
things.
You
He
should.
tried, like,
you should.
the Delbac Dorado. He liked that a lot.
You
He
should take him
liked,
to a blind, and you should let me know, and I'll put Blantons in the first round against something I think it's going to lose to.
I'll
and then-
try and schedule a team building activity. We'll see.
Yeah, there you go. We can even.
He bought us all a
is it-
round of Noah's Mill
Uh-huh. Noah's Mill's great.
at a bar. Yeah, or
Is-
is it Noah's Mill or Rowan's Creek?
They're
both
both.
the same.
It's older brother, younger brother.
Yeah, I can't
Just
remember which
higher proof,
one
lower
is the
proof.
mill and which one's the creek. That's
Creek is the
keep
101
mixing
proof. Noah's Mill is like around 114 proof,
okay. Yeah,
and
Yeah,
they're
so
both
the-
made by Willet. Both
Yeah, yeah, those are
phenomenal
both
bourbons
Willet.
that don't get enough love.
yeah, they're really good.
Like,
They
those
did when they
bottles-
first. They did like 4 or 5 years ago, but it's not
Well,
like they don't get talked
when-
about as much anymore.
When Noah's Mill first came out, it was like 15-year bourbon for $60, and it just sat on the shelf. Like literally sat on the shelf. I remember when I first started working at the store, it had the 15-year age statement on it, and it was $60. And all of a sudden, one day they disappeared, and then they took the age statement off, and then nobody cared for it. But it's still like 8 to 15-year-old bourbon in there.
Hey, Roberto's the only one that I've ever known that hyped up both of those.
That's fair.
Rowan's Creek was the first bottle I ever tasted neat that actually got me into drinking bourbon.
Oh, nice.
My first Kentucky trip, I was not a bourbon guy. I knew I had to be getting into this business. This was like 9 years ago, and tried Rowan's Creek at the distillery, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, I could drink this." Came home, took a bottle home, poured it over ice, sitting outside. Nice day. 2 weeks later, I'm drinking it neat, and boom, there goes my bourbon journey.
Nice. Well, there is going to be a lot of price increases probably coming up at Gold Eagle soon. Just because of the fact this is our last podcast before Jake has something on his finger that he's going to pay for. So
For his
probably
wedding somehow.
we'll probably see some less sales at Gold Eagle coming up.
Probably be
I-
more sales. I got to get some of this money back I spent on the wine.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful out in Vermont at Bacta's grounds. Unfortunately, I think when I moved here, my invitation must have got lost in the mail, but that's all right.
Did you not get it? You're the people that bought your house probably got it in DeKalb.
That's fair. All my other mail got forwarded, but not that one.
Yeah.
No, but no. So this is our last podcast with Jake not having a Mrs. Gold Eagle at the house with him. Well, I guess she's at the house, but not.
She's
Mrs.
already here,
Gold Eagle.
but yeah.
She's not Mrs. Gold Eagle. So congratulations on that, Jake. So I would just
Thank you.
We want to give
Thank
you a
you.
Yeah,
big thanks.
congratulations.
And
Thank you.
congratulations. We'll miss you over a few weeks, but we'll
I
try.
think I'll miss like one episode though.
I
I think it's
probably.
it should just be like one.
I mean, if you guys want to go for it, go for it. But I think we're one episode ahead now. So
I mean, I feel it's kind of a douchebag move of you not to take your laptop and set up out to your wedding and do one right before.
is it?
But
I mean,
I can't give you the advice I gave Jake on his wedding day.
You should. Well, I'm gonna have my laptop. I don't know if I'm gonna want to haul my mic out there, but honestly, maybe I'll get Raj on next week.
Yeah, just call
Record
in
from Bacta.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I will because we're getting out there on Tuesday. The wedding's not till Saturday.
You got plenty of time to get in trouble with
So
Raj,
so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we will do an episode at Bacta on Wednesday. TBD.
No, but that'll be fun. Enjoy.
Yeah,
The advice I told Jake on his wedding day was we all the groomsmen and everything went to get haircuts, and I just pulled Jake aside and I said, "Car's gassed up. Say Flugelhorn. We'll go for a long ways before we got to stop." But I'm not going to be out there for you, Jake, so I can't help you in that scenario. So.
No. And then at the end of the night, Dan gave me the sweatiest hug I've ever gotten.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes 1,000% sense. And you tried to steal my bottle of Little Book that I brought for that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Yeah.
You stole the bottle of Kentucky Owl because you told me you were going to make a candle out of it. And you never did.
It was an empty bottle of Kentucky Owl, first of all. You had like half a bottle of my Little Book. So, but
Which that one, I think, was a batch 10 Kentucky Owl. It was for sure a Deadman one, and it was very good.
yeah, you've been married for a while, so it's definitely an older one. But no, Jake, have a good time. If people want to support your wedding, they can buy things at Gold Eagle like I did the other day. Where can they do that at?
Go to goldeaglewine.com, download our app, follow us on Instagram at Gold Eagle Wine, Facebook at Gold Eagle Spirits. We did create a special Bacta blend for the wedding. That will not be sold through the store. But if you do really want one of those bottles, you can let me know, and I'll give it to you for free if you donate the retail value to our honeymoon fund.
I will do that.
I'm already
Venmo
on
you
that
right
list.
now. Put it with my supplies I just bought yesterday.
About $75 a bottle. It's a 1928 with both of our birth year Armagnacs finished in French oak.
Nice. I'll send you a Venmo for that.
Thank you.
And then just
I'll get you one.
Throw that onto Jake's pile for me.
I'll get you one.
So, Jake, where can people follow us and listen to us and watch us at?
Yeah, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google, or any other podcast platform. Watch us on Spotify and YouTube. We really had fun doing the listener appreciation episode last week.
Oh, that's right. That hasn't aired yet, but people don't know we did that. That's exciting.
Yeah, so we do enjoy reading comments and getting feedback from everybody. So please do that by liking, subscribing, leaving comments. Click the notification bell so you don't miss episodes. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Bourbon Matters, and Facebook. You can also comment there.
Nice. All right, guys. Cheers. Jake, have a wonderful wedding.
Cheers. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
When you are married.
Cheers.
Cheers.
God, you're totally just sucking on these glass clinks lately. My God.